So when it comes to live performance, do you bring out your whole team, your family members?
So I'm a solo artist.
Okay.
Like because in LA it's my brother as like the producer manager. He's more of like a host. He's more
Okay.
of like, oh, this is JVDE, and that's like we act, you know.
Okay.
But we have a solid. Our music group is called We Extraordinary Music, and I'm a main artist, and then there's another main artist. Shout out Paris B, and then there's a third main act. Shout out Honey Doll. So usually we actually throw our own shows.
Okay.
We just had Summer Bash, which is an annual show. We're on our 6th one.
Okay.
That was a really successful time for me because at the time I was presenting the Where You Want to Go like showcase, and yeah, like our shows are pretty successful. So.
Okay. Will you be performing anytime here in Boston?
Because my time is short, you know, maybe if I planned it in advance.
Okay.
But when I come back, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be here for it.
Yeah.
Just send us the Addy. We'll be there.
Oh, of course.
Will you ever perform in like a college? Let's say like if the time is there and then the space is available, will you do something like that?
I'd be open to it because I remember in my childhood, like they'd have people come in the high school or and perform, and like that was like inspiring. It's motivating because it's like, hey, it's kind of like contradicting because it's like they're telling us to stay in school, but like they're bringing in talent, and it's like, oh, I want to do that, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean,
yeah.
I think it's a way that school probably maybe want to motivate some kids.
Yeah, of course.
For me, school was just whatever. But I mean, if I were to do it again, I think I would do a better job at it. But at the same time, I mean, school is school.
Yeah.
I just wish school would teach kids some of the fundamental stuff.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, school did set a foundation because, like, I got better at writing because, I use a lot of, like, techniques in my writing. Like, I'm not just, like, freestyling or, like, spitting on a mic. Like, I know how to format. I know how to use metaphors and, just, like, things like that. Like, music is technical. So, like, I'm glad for, like, the foundation that school did lay for me. But, I agree, like, in terms of life, I wish I knew how to save early. Like, because some households, they're not built like that, like, to talk about saving or what bills are coming in. Or, like, they don't prepare you, so at least, like, have another outlet for that, like school.
Yeah, I do think I do think the parents pretty much need to teach the kids about things like that. But most parents, the average parents, don't even have time for their kids.
Exactly,
That's the thing. Because imagine, like, I don't know if you used to do sports. So sometimes your family will not show up. It'll probably be your brother or a cousin who would show up, to support you. And, growing up, any support is support. So you would be happy. But most of the time, I do wish that like parents would actually take the time and be like, hey, this is how much you have to pay every month for certain bills, and then that way you won't have to figure out not to struggle. Because I think, I don't know, maybe it's the government that's making us all struggle. I don't know. It's like no matter how hard you save, you're still fucked.
Because don't even let me get me started on that, but the whole thing is an agenda. Like,
I mean, it's a little conspiracy, but I mean, I don't want to dive into that, but it's just, I don't know, like, regardless of what you do, it's like, as soon as, like, we went through whatever we went through 3 years ago, it just has been going downhill. It hasn't been the way it should have been, a lot of conspiracies left and right, a lot of things that you didn't know. Yeah, so what's worse, to never get it or to get it and lose it?
That's a hard question, though. Like, real talk. I think if you put in all that work just to lose it, what's the point? Like, versus never get it. I'm on both sides.
This is my take on that. So if you never stepped out to get it, then you'll have regret. Because you'll be like, I should have done this. Maybe I would have had an outcome. But if you got it and you lose it, right?
Yeah.
The worst you can do is try again.
That's true. Right? You're true. Yeah.
And if you keep trying again, maybe it'll fall on your lap, and then it'll be yours to keep. You know, it'll be that motivation for you to keep going.
Yeah, that's
this
true.
is how I take it.
No, that's true. A lot of people are afraid to fail, but that's how you succeed.
Yeah. I mean, look at Bill Gates.
Exactly.
Those guys are afraid to fail, and I think I don't know. I just think like it's a type of mentality that we all have. Yeah. You know, because the thing is like we'll lose it. We're so quick to give up, and when we're giving up, we're like, let's try another thing. Like it's like, so for me, right? I like to fix cars a lot. Well, I don't like to fix cars. I like to fix my car.
Okay. Yeah.
So usually there's a bolt in a car that's kind of like it's a hard to reach bolt, and like you may have the right tool, but if that bolt says it's not coming out, it's not coming out.
Yeah.
So what I usually do is I usually like step back, take a little breather, you know, and then take a break, and then think about it for a minute and then go back.
Yeah.
And then it may take 2-3 tries, but at least that last try, I know I got this motherfucker out.
No, yeah.
And once I got it out, I'm like, you know what? Now I know the tactic that I need to use to pretty much like put it back on.
Right. Yeah.
So this is how I look at life. You know,
yeah.
Like there's another saying that I usually say, like when life give you lemon, make lemonade.
Exactly.
You know. So what is the message you want to give to an upcoming artist, like an artist that is on the same path as you, but like hasn't make it out yet?
Yeah. The biggest advice I can give to artists today is be yourself, because everybody's trying to hop on trends to like blow up, but that's not really gonna be as effective later on in life, because when people start to know you as one thing, who are you after that? Like when you're ready to be yourself, it's kind of, you're confusing your audience. Like let's say you're being a false persona your whole life, right? You're gonna attract false people, false circles, false environments, and you're gonna lose yourself. You're not gonna know who you are, to the point where you believe in your lies. Like, oh no, these are my homeboys. Oh yeah, this is where I love to live. Like, you're gonna attract that life.
Yep.
And that's where people get miserable, because they're not being true to themselves, or they didn't speak up in that one relationship because they weren't unhappy, so now they're stuck in it. Or, like there's just so many examples of this. But in terms of artistry, you want to stay true to your message and to your sound, because it's a privilege to have your own sound. A lot of these industry artists, they lost themselves because they signed a contract. Now they have to become whoever they tell them to be. It's a power to have your own unique sound, look, voice, whatever. Like that's why I say, like, just be you. Of course, like, you're having fun, right? It's good to experiment with all different sounds. Like, for example, I'm not a Jersey club artist, but I'm a vibe because, like, it's fun and it's still me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, experiment and find yourself. But once you find yourself, like, be that and don't be anybody else.
So when you say, like, be yourself, like, what do you mean by, like, being yourself? Like, as in, like, are you saying, like, to not force yourself?
So one example I have is with my music, I write based on all of my true experiences, and like I'm not gonna talk about shooting up clubs and getting drunk, or like that's not my life.
Yeah.
And again, words are spells. So whatever these people are talking, they're predicting their own, like, for example, like Pop Smoke. He predicted his own death. Like you gotta be careful about what you're listening to and what you're speaking, because you're absorbing that, and like you don't know why you're waking up anxious, or it's because like whoever's song you're listening to, and let's say like they were sad, and all of a sudden you're sad and you're feeling lonely because you don't have a boo, or it gets that deep.
I have to agree with you on that, because I would say social media it plays a big part of that
course,
too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, like social media has like a way of like showing people like the life that they live, and it's not really that life.
Yeah, because it's only the good parts of it.
Exactly. and it may not even be the good part. It may be the
or
fake
the
part.
bad, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think that attracts a lot of like, especially young people coming up, like Gen Z, and then millennials. You know, because like we all looked up on rappers. I'm not saying rappers are a bad example, but there are some good example rappers out there.
Yeah.
But we mostly want to listen to the shoot, kill type of music.
Yeah.
And we think it makes us cool. And I don't think it does, but that's probably their prerogative, not mine. But usually when I listen to an artist, I'm pretty much like listen to what the message that they're trying to say behind it. You know, Jay-Z is a good example. He talks about, you know, his life success, like what he did to get where he needs to be. You know, you find I listen to a lot of Afro beats. You know, I may not understand every word, but they do talk about like their life struggle, same as you. And I think pretty much like we need more artists to talk about their life struggle more than they talk about like what they're going to do to this person if that person doesn't like abide by their rules.
Exactly.
And I think it's really wrong. But I mean, I think it's the people who choose these type of artists to be broadcast more than like the underground artists. And I think there's more underground artists, and I think there's more artists out there who has message that they're saying, but like nobody wants to hear about it. You know, Kendrick is one of them. You know, J. Cole is one of them. What is it called? Black Smoke, I believe. I'm not sure. I might say it the wrong way, but those guys are pretty, really good examples. You know, but.
I mean, if you think about it on again, conspiracy, but if you think about it on a larger scale, like they want to keep us stuck in that, like in that mindset, you know, like they want to keep us wanting relationships. They want to keep us wanting to not feel alone or drink or smoke. Like that's how they keep the consumerism and the economy going.
Who do you think is keeping us? Let me dive on that conspiracy. Who do you think wants to keep us like in that? And it like stuck in that place.
I mean, it's generational, right? It started way before we were born, way before my parents were born, all this stuff. Like at the end of I don't know who, but I know that everybody's connected. Like I know the government and what's going on with wars and stuff like that is very much connected to the entertainment industry, because the entertainment industry distracts the people from caring about the war. You know what I mean? Like everything's planned. Like for example, like I forgot what event happened, but something happened, and then right when that happened, it was like a big hot topic that what's his name? The actor that plays Johnny Depp and his wife.
Oh.
Like they made a big deal about like she cut his fingers off, stuff like that, while something serious was happening. Yeah. You know, it's like they do that all the time.
Distract us.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Everything's connected.
I agree. To be honest, I think there's just like one person. I don't think that person is in the government. I think it's just one person that's like has like a fan base group, and whatever they say, their little minions react. That's what I think it is. As human, we should be making our own decisions, not people making the decisions for us. And I don't think it's fair that way, because like now, like once you're in too deep, you're like, what the fuck have I done? Like, why can't I escape this matrix, you know? But I mean, it is what it is. But I do think like about the relationship, it seems like everybody wants to be in a relationship. Everybody wants to be married. But at the same time, are those people trying to be married for themselves, or are they trying to be married for social media?
And that's where it is, because love is a great thing. Like love helps you grow. Like people that go into breakups and stuff like that, like those are some of the best times to like find yourself. Like you need to get heartbroken, just like you said, like no pain, no gain. You need to hurt your muscles to get strong. You know, like you're strengthening your heart and you're finding yourself through every relationship you go through. So I actually do support relationships, but you have to come into a relationship like whole. So like you're not both healing and broken, now you're trauma bonding or something like that. You know, that's where
that happened.
That's where all these toxic relationships lie.
Yeah, I think what it is just like there's a lot of people. This is my own opinion. There's a lot of people who don't heal before they get in a relationship. So they started comparing their partner to their previous partner. And that's where it can get a little bit tacky.
And because they're not healing, they're attracting the same person.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of that happening. Yeah. It's like a copy and paste.
Yeah, exactly. No, really.
It's just different person, but the same behavior. And you're like, why can't I have why can't my outcome be different? But I mean, at the same time, this is what I see, right? This also is my own opinion. I think like there's a lot of people who's choosing the same person that somebody else is choosing, whether it's men or women. They those type of people are attracted by the same type of person. And because they are attracted by the same type of person, it's just like now you're getting mad because that person went behind your back and do something. It's like I think we all have like a responsibility there. You know, we have an accountability. It's like I made the decision to be with the person. All I can do is just like put myself in the bed and lie in it. That's the least I can do. I can't just complaining, telling everybody, "Oh, look what he did." Like, okay, like, I mean, I do get it. I feel bad for you, but at the same time,
so you gotta know who you liked him when you was single like this. You already knew what you're getting into.
Yep.
You know, like that.
And I do think like whether it's like with relationship or job or whatever you're doing, there's a way like you have to pretty much like ask the right question. You know, get to know where you're trying to be, like whether it's a relationship, where that person's trying to be, like in the next 5 years. Same as your job would ask you, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Right.
You know, like whether in the industry, you want to make sure like you know that person has good intention with you. You don't just want to dive into something and you're like, oh, it's all well and good, or just because the person looked good, just because the job is willing to pay you 6 figures, just because the industry is willing to give you $1 million, just because of that, you're willing to make that decision right then and there.
Nothing is ever as it seems.
Exactly. But I mean, like I said, to revert back to it again, it's all social media. We just want to do things to pretty much like show it off on social media. Put, you know, anything that we're doing, whether it's like we got a new car, we got to post it on social media. We got a stack of dollar bills or hundreds, we got to put it on social media.
It's sad that, like, for example, like a Christmas or like a date, like people are on their phones more than like there, you know, being present. It sucks.
If I'm on a date with somebody and they're on their phone, I'm definitely walking out.
Right. Take a picture of the food, flowers.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying like let's say I'm on a table and then like we're both eating and then like the person's on their phone most of the time. I think that's like, if I took it upon myself to like go on a restaurant with you, I think the best you could do is
give that attention, time.
If you want to take me as a foodie person, then But anyways, let's get back to the music. So where can people find your music?
Everywhere. I'm on every platform. For like the unreleased / like, because again, like I was JADE Vanessa before JVDE. Like for that stuff, you can find a lot of stuff that nobody knows about, like on SoundCloud or YouTube or stuff like that. But like all my, I'll call it commercial music, is like on Spotify, Apple Music, everything.
Okay. What is it under JADE Vanessa or JVD?
Both.
Okay. Cool. So it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
I think I had a good time. You know, going through a lot of conversation, and I can tell by talking to you, you have a lot going on. Like good thing. Like you know, you have, like, when I say a lot going on, like as in like you have your music going on, and which you love, and you have your family going on, which is also love. So I think if people listen to your music, I think like they could pretty much like see where you're coming from, and I think like they can actually understand, you know, what you went through during that time. You know, and I appreciate you coming here
to
have a conversation with us. Yes, of course. And if you come by anytime and you want to do this again, let's go. I want to know what life is in California, you know, how you've been doing. So, let's Let's do it.
Part 2.
Yes.
Yeah.